So today is Mobile Monday, and we've got here a new Midland M20, and more than one person's asked me to cover this, so we bought one in from our wholesalers, and it comes with a socket for 2-pin plugs, which means you can plug them into a dongle for Bluetooth type of thing. And it comes also with a charging socket for USB devices. That will be all it does. Don't get excited that it's going to do anything like record from it or anything. So what features does it tell us? So yes, USB port, 2-pin Midland accessory, digital S-meter, wow. Digital automatic Squelch, wow. Noise blank and automatic noise limiter, I suppose that only is used on AM anyway. Wide LCD display, bright light system, trademark. Channel 9 emergency. 6-pin microphone up and down, and extension speaker socket. Well, we did the flagship model, didn't we? Was it the M30? And was that the set which didn't let you press transmit while it was doing something else? One merges into another. Okay. I wonder if there's any stickers in here. Our good friend. Oh, look. Yeah, there's some stickers. Quotages. That's the soldering iron on the floor. And a range brochure of other tat we may be interested in. Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, right. How did they work out that jumper thing will do 1,000 amps? Unbelievable. I only get 80 amps to my whole house. Oh, we've gone over to radio on the background music system. We have an instruction leaflet, and on this occasion we've got it in English. Frequency band selection, switch the radio off, turn the transceiver on while pressing filter and audio buttons at the same time, and then press audio button, filter and audio. I have to admit, I'd rather be repairing and piecing together some old crock than looking at a new set. Or will this be a new set that doesn't disappoint me? Oh, it's got an awful stiff kind of lead, which is so stiff you'll pull the radio off your bench. Well, I mean, of course it looks smart. It's a new set and they're made to look smart. Doesn't have a detachable. Oh, it does have a detachable power lead. Take my words back. Excellent. That's cheered me up for today. Did I see any warranty information? Because I'm about to invalidate it. I love invalidating warranties. don't leave this protective stuff on because it'll end up going sticky forever. We get stuff from 20 years ago which has still got plastic on, and it kind of rots away the product underneath. Oh, stuck everywhere. Oh, we're not done yet. Okay, so that looks even smarter. Oh, made in China. Surprise, surprise. I'll switch the soldering iron on ready in case the internal speaker needs on soldering, but let's hope it's on a connector. Right, so let's see whether we can switch it on. It's on, so switch it back off again. I can hardly see the writing. Perhaps it's back illuminated, but it's white writing on silver. I can hardly see that. So it was press filter and audio at the same time and switch on. Oh, helps if I switch on. And then press audio. There we are. We'll switch it off and we'll have a look inside. You see, already this, I'm going to have to deflux this. As far as I can see, that's already starting to rot the board. I'll tell you what, we'll do that now. With Mr. Chippy's toothbrush. I dread to think what that would cause in years to come. So it is a permanently widened speaker, so I was quite correct to put the soldering iron on. You know, the new speakers on sets, they seem to be smaller than the older ones. I haven't got a rule here with me, but I think there's one on the floor where you'd expect to keep speakers. This is from a Maxcom 4E. Yeah, they're a good half-inch smaller. So let's have a look at what we can spot straight away. Well, it may be a current model, but it does have some adjustments. So kind of that's nice from our point of view. A lot of the recent sets in the last 4 years don't have any transmit adjustments, and I would think that this just flows straight through the radio and just works. There'll probably be a transmit power adjustment, which we'll come to eventually. We've got the reference oscillator here, and we've got its frequency trimmer capacitor there. So these presets are actually labelled RP2 TSQ. That should stand for tone squelch, which would mean it's got CTCSS. ASQ would be auto squelch. AFL power. STX SRX. I would think that's the meter. AM maximum. Automatic gain control. Now we've got a bias adjustment there, which without the manual we won't be touching. There's a supplementary filter board here, nicely glue gunned in. And we have a, what's that device there? 2SB1367. We've got a 8-volt regulator, is a hefty 7808. Now we've got crystal filters here in the receive. I'll make up a chart, and these I've no doubt these are in the receive, and the VCO is going to be the bit with the wax in it, and it does have a test point for VCO. And it says max FM, so that's going to be the deviation. So for once things are labelled, and there are some things to adjust to it, which makes it a bit more decent than some of the more recent offerings we've seen. This could well be a better set than their flagship model. So what we'll do is set the camera up so you can look at our power meter. And this very stiff mic lead that you could tow your car with this one. Okay, so then I had to go and answer the phone because we had an oven as part of some building work here just before the lockdown, which is a Belling, and I chose that because it's a British make and we've always got on with Belling products. Got a 1950s Belling heater which still works. Anyway, it's the only oven we'd got, and it cut out about 20 odd times over the lockdown period. And there's clearly some kind of thermal issue, and when the engineer came there's a thermal cutout, which is what you'd expect, and he said, oh, I'll get another one ordered. And he's also ordered a main board just in case, you know, it's a baked boots and braces job, and that's fine. And they've just rung from Belling to say that one of the parts isn't in stock. I says, how can the part not be in stock? Because you're the maker. Oh, well, not, yeah, the parts get bought in, yeah. That was a revelation, predictable revelation. Right, so we are going to test transmit, and I am switched on. I'm now, and I want channel 20. He does have one of these. It's one of these reverse displays, which can be better to see. God, it's like turning a rubber band, that. And it does 2.9 watts. Well, that was predictable, wasn't it? Alright, well, we did find a preset. I think what I'm going to have to do, I'm going to have to draw a sheet out, and I think we'll do it that way, like we sometimes do. I'll just see if we can just look at the frequency, however, whilst before I do that. So we're looking for 27.79125. Oh, look at that, 27.79125, absolutely on the dot. If we needed to adjust it, it is that one there. I ought to really point with that with the yellow tool, as the contrast look better. So that would be the trimmer capacitor just down there. Right, well, we can switch that camera off now while I make up a chart. A lot of these are not relevant to adjust without the service manual, so at least they are labelled so we know what we don't want to be upsetting, like we don't want to be upsetting bias. So we'll start with seeing if we can adjust power. We'll see if the clipboard will stay put without bashing the microphone. So let's have put my head out of the way of the camera. So we're going to transmit. We've got 2.9 watts. What happens? We'll actually do 4.4. We'll land that exactly on the 4. So that ticks the box. That's great. And I don't think there's any other transmit adjustments other than the meter and the deviation. We'll do the deviation. Yes, showing Wallow 1.4 absolute maximum, 1 as a constant tone. So we'll do the deviation. So if I just try it about there. Wallow. Yeah, that's absolutely spot on. 2.2, absolute peak of 2.5. That ticks the box as well. So let's see what it says on its display when I key up. I've got a full set of bars there. Now I'm going to do an experiment. You know, I'll just turn the power to 4 watts. Let's turn the power down and see whether that goes down, and prove whether it's a real power meter or whether it's just a glorified TX light. So you can see the meter says 4 watts on the small screen. So let's turn that down, and it does turn down. So for once it looks like it's a real power meter, which a lot of the newer sets from 1999 onwards have. I think that Maycom stroke realistic set, the one which I've never seen a worker. Got one new in a box somewhere. Right, so that's, we're going to just check the meter, and the meter adjustment is that one just there, and it says TX. So let's see what we can do when we key up. Yeah, so if I set that so that it reads 4, I'll just put the other glasses on because it's so small, this display. No, it's 1, 3, 5. So I've set that so that it reads 9 on the power scale. It means absolutely nothing, but it is a real power meter, so that's good. So we've covered the transmit. There's nothing more I can say. Tell you what we can do. We could program it up for AM, and we could just check what the modulation is. So I think we'll do that. So I'll turn it off. Now, oh, does it give us does it give us FM and AM in the fact that we're in UK mode? So let's see. So this white letter on a silver background is not ideal. So we're in FM. Why has it done that? Or is it a long press? It says now we're in EC mode. Now we're in UK mode. Now we're in EC mode. It does not let us do AM in EC when set to UK. So we're back to that old problem. Right, switch it off and we'll reprogram it for a different country. I think it's EU which allows AM use. Let's see whether I'm right. It's FM, AM, FM, AM. Okay. So we'll now look at transmitted modulation for AM. We'll get that little oscillator back. And that's much more healthy than Wallow. It doesn't need adjusting, but it's the one back there. And if you see, if you look at the needle, make it higher or lower. Wallow. Yeah, that'll do 90%. So we've proved that that works. So we'll now go back to FM. I don't want to dwell on AM. We're not going to use CPT here, and neither are any of our customers. So switch it off, switch it back on, set it for UK, press audio. So we've done transmit. So now what we're going to do, we'll just go through the receiver. So I'm going to set the signal generator for 2779125, so we're on channel 20. And we had better plug in our test instrument speaker. And that sounds like a parcel at the door. It was a scrap man. Had we got any scrap? And the answer was yes, because we had got rid of some rather rusted steel shelves, and so that's dealt with those. Right, that saved me getting a skip. So what we're going to do, I'll start with the receive with S9 on the test instrument, and we'll have a look at what this says on this meter. And it's just shy of the 9 mark by the looks of things. So I'll adjust that, and it's that adjustment there. No, we want there to be one more. That is the last bar, so where it was set was correct. So that's S9, and we go up a bit and it's plus 30, but it doesn't say plus 30. So that's it, but that is where the adjustment is. And let's have a look at, I'll put the Synad meter on, and let's have a look at that. Someone made a good comment on one of the videos. Why do you use an external Synad meter when the Marconi test set one has one built in? Yeah, well, it doesn't work, does it, on the Marconi test set? So that's why it's as simple as that. And the last thing you want to do is start messing with things as complicated as the test sets. I mean, there are thousands and thousands, and we haven't got a service manual for it. So if anyone has the service manual for the Marconi, which one is it? 2951 is this? Yeah, 2951. Yeah, we could do with a service manual, to be honest. We've got 3 of these. I used to have the 2955B, which was the one we had a 2555A as well. The ones with the, shall we say, the television screen on them. But because this oscilloscope function and a lot of all the functions are digitized, it's too slow for me to work with, because it's like adjust wait, and I'm just used to these things not having to wait. So I prefer an older model which we can theoretically repair. So that's what that's about. Yes, there's a cyanide meter built into it, but it doesn't work. And with the other two which we use, we don't do CBs on. So right, where are we? Yes, let's have a look. I've now got. Let's put quite a low signal on, and we'll look at these two adjustments, which are L1 and L5. I can't see them making any difference. I'm just going to go back to transmit and see whether they do affect transmit. And the answer is no. So I'll adjust it quite a long way to see what the effect is. Yeah, there's a slight decrease. So we'll leave that alone any further than that. And I'll look at this one. That looks like it could be a detector. So I'll just put the oscilloscope on. I'm not going to change the thing over to so you can see it, because it may not well be. Turn the volume up a fraction. No, it isn't. But it may be to do with AM. So we may have to backtrack on AM. Yeah. Well, it certainly isn't FM. So I'm going to switch the set back on, and we'll put it on to, sorry, off and on, and put it back on to AM. I think did we say it was EC? EU, that was it. So I want it on AM, channel 20, that's where we are. I'll have to reset the signal generator, because channel 20 is now 27205. So we have 27205 on the signal generator. We'll switch out to AM. And there we have it. So I'll look at that adjustment now on AM. You can still use a cyanide meter. Slight effect there on AM. I'll just check those other two. Now I'm satisfied that they are peaked. So we'll go back to FM. You can see what a pain this is when you can't just switch between, as you should be able to. You should be able to have AM and FM on the CPT and FM only on UK. And it's frustrating it doesn't work like that. So we'll put the signal generator back to where it was, 2779125. And just before we do the squelch, let's have a look at how sensitive this is. So on 0.3 of a microvolt, to be honest, I can't hear much further than that. Well, to be honest, I'm not very impressed with this on the receive. That's 0.3 of a microvolt. So let's look at it with a cyanide reading. So for 20 dB cyanide, we're looking at 1.6 microvolts. So if you're looking at a York 861 or a Rotel 220, 230, 240, you know, those Cybernet sets, you'd be looking at 1 microvolt for 20 decibel cyanide, which is here. And it isn't 20 decibel, it's 18 on this radio, so it's inferior. So if we now turn the attenuator to 12 decibel cyanide, which is one of the other meaningful figures, the radio is doing 0.65 of a microvolt, and for 10 decibel cyanide, it's doing about 0.55, and I can actually hear it down to about 0.27. But quite a lot of new sets I can hear down to 0.1, and a lot of old sets I can hear to 0.15. So it's like the RF gain's on, and I've forgotten to turn it on fully. You know, it's a bit like that. But that's how it is. Doesn't mean it's going to affect the field test, but let's see if we can set that squelch up. So that's the first disappointment, because it's done the full 4 watts, it's done the deviation, but it just hasn't got the sensitivity I'm used to. So we'll pop that off, and let's look at the squelch. So I'm going to switch the signal generator off, set the squelch threshold, and switch the signal generator back on. And now we adjust the attenuator, so we're at 0.3, 1 microvolt, 3 microvolts. I'd like better sensitivity than that, and I don't know if it's adjustable. So with our chart that I've just moved, we've got auto squelch, which is the preset just there. I'm going to just have to pause the video and just make sure, because TSQ would to me mean tone squelch, and I just need to check whether it has that feature. Well, it doesn't have tone squelch, so I think we'll assume that that is ordinary squelch. So we'll just see where full squelch takes us to. That's full volume. So that's 3, 10, 30, 100 microvolts. It's 3 volts, so I need to drop down the sensitivity. That's far too coarse. So hopefully adjusting TSQ, and I'll carefully note where it currently is positioned. I'm right. In fact, we're not on camera, you can't. I'll tell you what, I'll move the camera physically. There we go. So we're there. So I'll do that test again. So I still want a bit more. That's now set to S9. I want it to just open there, and it does. That's how I want it to be on the coarsest setting. So now we'll go back to the finest setting and switch the signal generator off. Set threshold. There we go. It's now coming in at 0.3 of a microvolt. Now the auto squelch, which is preset squelch really, we'll switch that position and see when that comes in. That's all right. That comes in at 3 microvolts, or let's look at it finally. It comes in at 3 microvolts, drops off at 1.6. So that's fine as it is, but that's the ASQ adjustment, which is just down there. So that covers it, and so Yeah, I mean, it transmits great, but I don't think the receiver's as sensitive as I would have liked. But that's how it is. Within what you come to expect. I'll just see if there's a specification. Back in the days gone by, there used to be a specification. Nope. Is there a specification on the other leaflet? Or is this just licensing? It's just licensing. And then we'll just look at that box again. Nope. Oh well, there's no specification, so apart from the fact it's going to conform to the licensing specification, fair enough. There we are. You can select whether you're using the 2-pin mic, whether you're using a dongle. That's what the audio adjustment does there. You can even mute the speaker. Yeah, that's it. I'll put it back together and we'll just have a quick flick round. I think it's got a scan on it, so we'll try that. The other point I failed to mention is there's an S-meter socket for an external S-meter with the standard 2.5mm jack they have. So we'll put it back together and let's see what happens when we actually put it on. Set the squelch manually and we'll press scan, see what happens. No, that's automatic noise limiter. That's the speaker options. Scan. How does that work then? Do you hold it? You hold it! Yeah, well, we're in the middle of nowhere, so we're not going to get much here. So we'll stop the scan and let's go through. We'll turn the squelch down. $19, Roger. No.
Tell me you had yours on a jacket now.
It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, well, we'll do an on-the-air test with that later on with Mr. Chippy, and we've got yesterday's set to on-the-air test as well from Sierra Hotel 1 Tango Sunday. We've got a GT868, so I'm going to get into do 2 on-the-air tests tonight, and it'll be interesting to have this brand new set and see how that sounds when compared with the Sierra Hotel 1 Tango set that we did yesterday. So there we are, the Midland latest M20, does 4 watts, does the deviation, and just a little not quite there on the sensitivity, but it might work great on the field test. So there you have it. Thanks for watching.